This video is sponsored by Rocket Money. Y'all, we're making coconut shrimp 3 different ways. Come on! Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're tackling low carb coconut shrimp and we're cooking it 3 different ways. Stay tuned. All right, guys, low carb coconut shrimp. As you know, coconut shrimp traditionally has panko, breadcrumbs, lots of other things in it that make it fairly high carb, not to even mention the dipping sauces like the sweet pineapple and all of that stuff that increases it even further. So today we're going to tackle cooking a low carb version of coconut shrimp 3 different ways. We're going to do one in the oven, one in the air fryer, and one good old fashioned in a pan with a little bit of oil. Now we're going to follow almost all recipes in the low carb world online and in books typically are the same ingredients. You've got coconut flour and egg wash and then some shredded coconut. I will tell you that when you look for shredded coconut, I don't know if you can see this on camera, this is kind of finely shredded. This is the Bob's Red Mill shredded unsweetened. Make sure that it is unsweetened. You do not want to get sweetened coconut. I prefer this thinner, finer grind than, say, the flaked coconut. Flaked coconut is wonderful, but they're large pieces, like hunks of I guess, well, it's flaked coconut. Those for me tend to be too firm for shrimp. I just don't care for the texture. The coating on the outside almost will cut your gums. It's a little it's a little too much when they're fried that crispy. Now, a lot of people love that, and if that's what you like, by all means do it. The same techniques work here for any of that. But today what I'm using is going to be the shredded coconut flakes because I think that just coats easier, creates a more even coating, and doesn't hurt my mouth when you eat them. So we are starting with obviously some large shrimp. These are extra large shrimp, not quite jumbo. When you're looking for shrimp, I was spoiled living for so long on the Gulf Coast of the United States where we could get fresh Gulf shrimp at any time that was wonderful and fresh off of the boat. Living now on the West Coast, I don't get that quite so much, so a lot of our shrimp here is frozen. When you look for frozen shrimp, I try to find personally something that doesn't have TSP in it. You'll see it in the list of ingredients. It'll say shrimp, TSP, which is sodium tripolyphosphate, I believe is what that stands for. Don't quote me on that, but it's a preservative that lets the shrimp hold water, but I think it has a very soapy taste. And when you rinse your shrimp after they've thawed, you'll see a lot of bubble action. You'll see a lot of sudsing. That's that TSP. And I don't care how many times you rinse it. To me, I can instantaneously tell frozen shrimp that has TSP in it because it tastes soapy to me. But if you look around, I know Whole Foods has some. I know Kroger here, just their store brand Kroger, their wild caught shrimp, even their farm raised shrimp. You just have to do a little bit of looking. But I've noticed that the larger the shrimp, typically the less likely it is to have TSP. So just do a little label searching on your own if you want to try to find some that doesn't have that telltale soapy frozen shrimp taste. So that's what we're using today. This is some black tiger shrimp that I picked up from Whole Foods. We've got, came in a 12-ounce package. This is about 24 ounces of shrimp. So we're obviously going to use an egg for an egg wash. So I've got 2 eggs here. And there's not really a recipe here. You're just going to create a dredging station using eggs and some coconut flour that will help all the other things stick to it, as well as the spices that you're going to put in your coconut flour. So that's what we have here is coconut flour. This is about 3/4 of a cup. How much coconut flour you're going to use is going to depend on how many shrimp you're making, right? So you could, if you're just making a few for one serving, you might use a 1/4 cup of shrimp. Sorry, you might use a 1/4 cup of coconut flour and a 1/4 cup of coconut. But for what I've got here, I've got about 3/4 of a cup of each. The coconut flakes, or shredded coconut, and the coconut flour. To our coconut flour, we're going to add some seasonings. For this much, I'm putting in about a teaspoon each of salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. Use whatever spices you like the best. A lot of people will add some dried thyme or dried parsley into that as well, but I find this gives a good flavor without overpowering things. And then we'll probably make a little spicy aioli, a little spicy mayo, something like that to dip it in just for funsies. If you are so inclined, you can find some sugar-free things like orange marmalade. There are some sugar-free versions. I'm not wild about them, but a lot of people are and don't have any problems with it. And they'll use a sugar-free marmalade mixed with a little bit of mayo or sour cream to make like a Polynesian pineapple citrus sauce you could dip it in. Or you may just eat it like it is right off the pan with just the coconut flakes. So once you've got all that ready to go, we are ready to start dredging. Before we do this though, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is the personal financial app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower your bills, and manage your money better. If you're like me, you've probably seen the ads about Rocket Money and how it can help you cancel some of these recurring subscriptions. And to be very honest and transparent, I didn't think that this service or app was for me. I've got a banking app on my phone from my bank. I go through things fairly regularly. I thought I had a handle on this. So I went and downloaded the app for free, y'all. Within 5 minutes of putting my stuff in, it does its little thing in the background. It found two recurring subscriptions that I am double paying for. The first of those is cloud storage for photos on my phone. Somehow I have managed to sign up for duplicate accounts under separate email addresses. I shudder to think how much money I have wasted because I'm only using one of those accounts. The second one was a streaming service, and one of those I was paying for the service, and I was also paying for a bundled package which that service was included in. So I've been double paying for these. So with just a few taps, I was able to cancel both of those recurring subscriptions, and it's saving me about $240 a year just on those two things. If you want to do the same thing, you can try it for free by going over to rocketmoney.com/highfalutin. There'll be a link in the video description below, so you can try that out for free. You can also take advantage of some of their premium services with things like smart savings and lowering your bills. You can take a picture of your bill and send it to them, and they will actually negotiate on your behalf to lower those bills. So thank you, Rocket Money, for sponsoring this. It's sponsorships like yours that keep channels like mine on the air, and for that I am truly appreciative. So again, guys, if you want to try it out for free, go to rocketmoney.com/highfalutin and download the app for free. All right. Okay, so we're going to start dredging these. So I'm going to take one of these shrimp, and it's easier to use either something like a small pair of tongs or maybe even some chopsticks, or use alternate hands so that you don't get the dreaded batter finger, the batter club hand while you're trying to do this. So we're going to go into the coconut flour. Now, as you know, these are, or you may not know, these are peeled and deveined. I do leave the tails on to leave you a little handle to bite on once you're already done. So shake off any excess flour here. This goes into the egg wash. Knock off any excess egg. And then this goes into the coconut flake. Now I'm going to use my other hand here. Make sure you press this on well so that it sticks well. And then I'm going to transfer this to a plate over here. Make sure we're getting it well coated. I'm going to transfer this to a plate because these need to sit for about 10 minutes with their coating on them, just to let them, sort of congeal, I guess you could say, and so the batter sticks on. So I'm going to do that now and speed this up so you don't have to watch, and I'll be right back just as soon as enough of these are finished for us to begin. Okay? Okay, so I've got 12 of the jumbo shrimp here. There are about this many more, double this amount in the 24 ounces, the two 12-ounce bags that I had. But this will give us 4 to cook for each method of cooking. I'm going to try to get these to all come out close to the same time so that, because the key to this is eating them when they're crunchy. If they sit around for a while, they're just not going to be as crunchy as a traditional breaded, panko crusted coconut shrimp. Just the nature of the beast when you're dealing with keto food. So I've got some oil that I'm going to start preheating here. We're going to heat it to about 350 degrees, and we're going to fry these about 2 to 3 minutes per side. So these will be the last ones that I put actually on the heat. The next quickest will be in the air fryer. These will cook at 400 degrees in an air fryer for about 6 to 8 minutes. We'll turn them halfway through. So these will be the second ones that I put in, and the first ones are going to take 8 to 10 minutes, and that's going in a regular oven on a baking sheet lined with something to keep it from getting a mess. I wouldn't put them on a rack. You can try it, but sometimes the breading will stick to the rack. So I find it easier to just use a piece of parchment paper or a piece of a foil like this. So that's what I'm going to do. The oven has preheated already to 425, so we're ready to go there. I'm obviously going to hit this well with some avocado oil spray. And these have been sitting for about 6 to 8 minutes just to give it time for the coating to stick to the shrimp. So without letting them touch, without letting them touch, we're going to put 4 in the oven and set our timer for about 4 minutes, and I'll turn them after about 4 more minutes. So I'm going to put these in the oven now. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to put in our air fryer pieces, and I'm also going to hit this well because you don't want it to stick to this rack. Put 4 in here, not touching. And this is going to go in a 400 degree air fryer for about 6 to 8 minutes. Again, it's going to depend on the size of your shrimp and again how many you're probably cooking. So these may cook a little faster. But I'll turn them, flip them over after about 3 minutes. So I'm going to put this in now to my air fryer. And then I'm going to start my oil heating and get this going. And once my oil comes to temperature, I'll fry these for about 2 to 3 minutes per side. So I'm kind of going to speed this up. You'll see some of it as I'm going and turning, so you can see how this works out. But it's going to be a pretty quick video. So we'll be back here to taste them when they're warm and crispy and hot. I'll let you know what I think about each of these. And yeah, see you in just a bit. All right, so we are back and our shrimp are fried, at least 4 of each so that we can try them. These are our first ones. These are the ones that came out of the oven. They're a little more pale. You can hear not terribly crispy. I try to put them up on their edge. If you have a large enough shrimp that you can stand it on its edge like that, it'll keep the batter on a little longer. These are our air fried ones and they look really nice and crispy. If you can hear that, but the batter has held on well. And then the last to go in and the first to come out were the ones that were truly fried, and these are definitely crispy. So I've had these. You've had these probably if you've already done it, but we're here to see which we like the best. So let's try our first. I'm actually going to go in reverse because the ovens were the last ones to come out. They've only been out for about 3 minutes, and I'm scared they might be a little too hot. So the fried ones. This is going to be, to me, the most restaurant-like, the highest quality, the crispiest of them. And what do we think? It's hot. Mm-hmm. Yes. All day. So good. Okay. Right on. All right. Excellent. Is it as good as traditional coconut shrimp? Ish. You know, there's definitely missing the breadcrumb crunch. I won't lie to you and say that that's not missing, but it is very crispy. The batter held on well, lots of flavor. Taste of coconut will be perfect dipped in some sort of sauce. Now, air fryer. These are the ones I've actually never cooked these in an air fryer before, but I have the new air fryer. I don't know if you've seen that air fryer video, so I thought I'd try it. And these didn't require really any oil on top. I did spray the oil on the oven baked ones because you just need something to give it some color. But what do we think about these? Mm-hmm. I might even say I prefer them over the oil fried ones because they are less dense, less heavy with oil. They don't have an oily flavor. The coconut really shines through because there's not a lot of oil in the way to get in the way, and they are still crispy. Those, so far, are kind of winning. Now, the baked ones, as you can see, sometimes the batter falls away from the shrimp. Let me see if I can get a good one on camera here. You can see that the batter doesn't really, I'm not a fan of air baked fried things in general, but let's give them a try. I've certainly tried these before, and they're a good way to do a large batch of them. These are hot. Good. Okay, I totally surprised myself. I assumed that the oil fried ones would be the best, and they actually may not be my favorite. The favorite by far for me are the air fried ones. And I'm going to tell you that if you sprayed these with oil like I did and put them on the last minute under the broiler on high, these came in second. The coconut flavor really shines through. I felt like I was using avocado oil now as the oil of choice, which is a high smoke point, low flavor oil. While crispier, these have less coconut flavor in the oil. So, and a little bit of a shock and an upset to me, I'm going to say the air fryer was the first that I liked. They came in number one. The oven fried in the regular oven with the last few minutes on broil were number two. Spray them with some oil. If you don't spray them with oil, they're not going to get that color. Sprayed with oil. And then lastly, the oil fried. Were they all good? Yes, they're all acceptable, but I really thought the ones cooked in oil were going to come out the best because I think we all probably thought that, right? So yeah, easy, fast, fun. Throw some dipping sauces in it. These are really, really good, really low carb. Shrimp have very trace carbs, so the only thing you're coming up with is just the coconut flour and the coconut flakes. So however much you're using of those, that's going to be your carb count. So yeah, coconut, low carb coconut shrimp. Can it be done? Yeah. Do it in an air fryer if you got it. If not, do it in the oven. It's pretty easy. All right. There you have it, folks. I say this all the time. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating. And looking at the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you guys have come along for the journey. I'm going to tell you that YouTube tells me the stats. I know how many of you that are watching that aren't subscribers, and of the people that will watch this video, over 60% of you are not a subscriber. What is wrong? Be sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you like what you see here. Hit the like button. It'll let YouTube share this video with other people who like similar content as this. And also follow me over on Instagram and on Facebook. I talk a little more frequently and freely over there. It's just Highfalutin Low Carb. You can find me on both platforms. Again, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Rocket Money. And lastly, I need to thank my rock stars, my Patreon members. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It lets people like you, who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube, you can give $1 or $2 a month just to keep the train on the tracks, and you'll see your name start to scroll here with all these other rock stars who without this none of would be possible. So if you want to see your name here and join this crew of wonderful folks who really keep this channel going, be sure to hit me up at patreon.com/Highfalutin Low Carb. All right, guys, I love you very much. I'll see you very soon in another new video. And remember, today is a great day to have a great day.